In this lecture, we're going to be looking at class object functions and how to use them. Let's dig right into it. I'll start by including my PHP tags. I'll create my class like usual, person, open and closing curly braces. And this time, I'll use our public access modifier, then our attributes, first name, and I won't assign it anything at the moment. I'll do the same thing here for last name. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to actually use the private access modifiers because we only want the methods and other features inside the class can access these features for security issues. Private access specifier, it just lets the visibility know that these attributes can be seen within the class only. I'll do that and I'll call our constructor. So I'll do function. I'll just do this public function underscore underscore constructor or construct. Okay. And again, I made the constructor public because we want to access it outside of the class when we create our new object. But again, constructors are really useful when we want to initialize data or set default values, assign default values to attributes and initialize other data within our class. But we'll just leave it as is for right now. I'll create some functions, so I'll type public function, then I'll say get first name, get first name, okay, and I'll use the return statement, and the return is a keyword built in to PHP, and when you use the return keyword, it returns some data after it back to the function. So let me just say this because we're referring to the current object and the first name. Okay, so I'll do that. Okay, and I'll do the same thing. I'll copy this line of code and just do this for the last name as well. So I'll put last name and put this for last name. Oops. Last name. Okay, so we're pretty much all done for right now. So let's actually create a person object. So I'll just call it person, new person. And remember, our attributes does not have values set by default, so we want to assign these. So again, what we can do, let's actually, let's go into the constructor and actually assign them. So I'll just use this and first name, I'll assign it, let's use a different name, let's say Mark, and for the last name, I'll use, let's say Jones, Mark Jones. Okay, so when we create a new object, this block of code is going to be initialized. So it's going to set our first name to Mark and our last name to Jones. Okay, so we don't want to display any data yet. We go back down here to our object, and what I can do is type echo, and I'll do first name Then what I can do here, echo, then I'll do person. Then I want to call the object function, which is get first name. And again, when we're calling a function, an object function, we just use the arrow operator, and then we just pass in our function name or method name, and that's it. This does right here, so since our get first name returns our first name, it just returns the data, which is going to be Mark. And then we can just do the same thing. We go here. I'll add a break with our HTML. And I'll just paste that here and just call it last name. And then here, last name as well. See if this works. So I'll refresh it, and congratulations, look what we have. We have our first name Mark and last name Jones. If we go back, as we can see, the only thing we do is instead of accessing our attributes, we can access the methods the same way. And again, I've introduced a new keyword, PHP keyword, which is return, and it just returns data. That's pretty much it. Returns a calculated data or data within our class. Congratulations, guys. You guys should know how to call object methods from an object.